Hey all my good friends, Sam Haymart with Test Driven TV. It's been a big month for mid-sized trucks. First the 2024 Ford Ranger and now the 2024 Toyota Tacoma. And there's a lot to talk about here and there's a lot of videos out there to choose from. But here we're going to hit all of the major big news points of the new Tacoma and I'm going to tell you what I really think of it. The wait is finally over. The completely redesigned 2024 Toyota Tacoma is finally shown to us in full. The first all-new from the ground up Toyota Tacoma in almost 20 years. While being at the top of the sales charts has allowed a slow walk on updates, progress, and evolution for decades, modern times and increased competition finally forced Toyota to pull out all the stops and truly modernize the Tacoma. So what is the recipe for keeping the Tacoma at the top of the sales charts in a sea of A-game competitors? A completely new chassis platform underneath, all new powertrain teams, innovative new trim grades, and what I think is an impressively handsome design inside and out. Like Tacomas of the past, it's brawny and muscular, building on the styling DNA of the last generation, a more pronounced Coke bottle form, and wheels push farther to the corners for a more aggressive stance. In such, it looks a lot like a scaled-down Tundra because it is. It's built on a shortened and narrowed version of the same TNGAF truck platform that's under the Tundra and Sequoia, and thus it shares a lot of its underlying core mechanical bones and engineering, just scaled down slightly. These include, for the first time, a high-strength steel fully boxed frame, and for the first time, an available multi-link coil spring rear suspension. While we don't have all the full specifications yet, I suspect the new Tacoma will be a bit wider than before and perhaps a little bit longer. Surprisingly, it bucks the latest trends and will remain available in both a full four-door cab with two bed lengths, 5 and 6 feet, as well as a smaller two-seat extra cab with a 6-foot bed. That's huge. Competitors Ford and Chevrolet just ditched the smaller cabs and multiple bed options for their redesigned models, leaving their buyers with far fewer choices. Interiors across the board are all new as well, again, looking much like the cabin of its much larger brother Tundra. Chiseled details and blocky rugged elements make up the new dash and console design. A taller seating position and driver orientation should alleviate that sitting on the floor feel of the current Tacoma. Center stage are larger infotainment screens starting with an 8-inch touchscreen standard and available a large 14-inch display seen here, which will feature all of the brand's latest generation of connected, read subscription-based features and content. The instrument cluster is now a 7-inch digital screen setup with a larger 12.3-inch customizable unit on higher grades. Because of the redesigned cabs, there's more storage space than before, particularly on the non-hybrid models. This includes 3 times more space under the rear seat, and they can also fold down flat for a more usable load surface than before. The extra cab model will be a 2-seater only. Jump seats are no longer included at the rear, most likely for packaging and safety considerations. Instead, a multitude of storage and useful surfaces are provided, which likely will make good sense for those using their trucks for work. This checks out as the extra cab will only be available in lower SR, SR5, and the new TRD pre-runner grade. What's under the hood though is really where the major shift is. Those complaining about the industry's massive move to smaller turbocharged engines are just going to have to learn to shut up and take it like a man, as the new Tacoma now sports a trio of 2.4-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engines, no more naturally aspirated 4 or V6. Base model SR gets a 2.4-liter turbocharged 4 with an 8-speed automatic with a milder tune than the rest, with 228 horsepower and 243 pound-feet of torque. Next up the ladder for the SR5 through Limited is a higher output version with 278 horsepower and 317 pound-feet of torque. It also comes with an 8-speed automatic. In a limited group of trim grade configurations, SR, TRD Sport, and TRD Off-Road, a 6-speed manual with automatic rev matching remains available to those who still want it. That is huge. With this setup, the 2.4-liter turbo offers 270 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque. The top dog powertrain, replacing the old 3.5-liter V6, is the iForce Max Hybrid, available on the TRD Sport, TRD Off-Road Limited, and Standard on the TRD Pro and Trailhunter. Comprised of the 2.4-liter turbo and a 48-horsepower electric motor integrated into its 8-speed automatic, it offers up to 326 horsepower and a significant 465 pound-feet of torque. That makes it the only hybrid available in the midsize class, and class-leading with mainstream horsepower, with the only exception being the limited production 2024 Ford Ranger Raptor, which has over 400 horsepower from its 3-liter twin-turbo V6. A variety of downstream hardware includes automatic limited slip differentials on rear-wheel drive models. If you get four-wheel drive, the standard transfer case is an electronically controlled 2-speed unit with high-low range, along with an automatic limited slip rear differential. An upgraded electronic locking differential is standard on the TRD Pre-Runner and the TRD Off-Road, TRD Pro, and the Trailhunter trim grades. On the limited hybrid, you get a full-time four-wheel drive system with a center locking differential. Aside an all-new fully boxed frame that's stronger and beefier than before, upper trim grades now get a better ride and off-road articulation experience with a multi-link rear suspension. Leaf springs and solid axle do remain standard, however, on the lower grades SR, SR5 Extra Cab, and the TRD Pre-Runner. And finally, after decades past their prime, Toyota finally ditches the rear drum brakes and gives Tacoma standard four-wheel disc brakes. Now all those people that have bitched forever can stop bitching. That includes myself. Additionally, there will be upgraded brake package as you step up the grade ladder for better performance on and off the road. Maximum towing of up to 6,500 pounds is available for the non-hybrid models, and maximum payload is up to 1,709 pounds. Depending on the trim grade and powertrain you get, your metrics will vary. And to that, the new 2024 Tacoma TRD Sport, TRD Off-Road, and TRD Pro all return with their various levels of suspension, tire, and wheel upgrades, almost too long to list here. Additionally, we now have another variant in the Trailhunter. The Trailhunter is a new premium grade that offers the overlanding enthusiast an equivalent level of off-roading prowess to the TRD Pro, but with a different tune to its presentation and hardware makeup. It'll offer a wide array of overlanding equipment and accessory content, in addition to a style that's quite upscale. It certainly looks sweet and will likely cost it. We'll know a lot more about how it'll stack up to the competition in terms of dimensional differences, pricing, actual fuel efficiency, and performance once the detailed specifications are released by Toyota, which will come closer to its launch later this summer. Well, there you have it, the new 2024 Toyota Tacoma. They've done a lot to bring this up to date and answer a lot of the criticisms that it's gotten over the years. It was the oldest guy in the room for quite a while here, almost 20 years old, the last generation, even though second and third generation, they called it, they were essentially the same truck underneath the skin. Here, this is all new from the ground up. Now, how will this compete? Well, my opinion is that the new Chevrolet Colorado and the GMC Canyon are probably going to be nipping at the heels of this thing pretty hard. This is the popular kid in the class. It's hard to knock that guy off, especially with Tacoma being so far ahead of the rest in terms of the sales race. And I think Toyota's done a good job to just take what they had and make it bolder, brawnier, beefier, and so on. That said, I think the new Toyota is going to be probably still a forerunner in sales ahead of the new Ford Ranger. Ford Ranger, they did a lot of good things with that, but it's more of a conservative evolution in terms of what's new. And Nissan, just like the Ranger, probably going to continue to be down the scale in terms of sales competitively, but obviously the future will tell us that. I can't wait to test drive this as well as the new Ranger. Both of those should be coming later this summer. We will be also doing a deep dive video on the Trailhunter as well as the TRD Pro, because there's so much more that we can get into in detail there, and you'll see those on our Toyota Tacoma playlist right there. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel right there and stay informed of everything that we do. Thanks for watching.